Hello, welcome to DIY is my happy place. I'm Amy, and today we're going to be talking all about mirrors. If you follow me, you may know that I love updating mirrors. I got a floor-length mirror from Walmart for around $10 and then jazzed it up. And now I'm so happy with it. So if you want to see how I did it, let's get started. Taking a Walmart mirror and jazzing it up is my idea of fun. This is the barcode for the Walmart mirror. This is what it looks like before I did my thing to it. Now, I picked up some of these cups from the Dollar Tree. They come for $1. So all you have to do is clean them up and glue them onto the outside of the frame. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it really is going to work. Now, I wanted them to be a little bit more jazzed than just the bowl, and so I actually took some of these gems that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. They have stickers on them, but in order to reinforce it, I went ahead and glued with my Gorilla Glue because I want them to be very solid. Now, putting these little gems in there makes it look like it's got little light bulbs in there. Or gems, whatever. It just really jazzes it up even more. And the reflection from the bowl magnifies it even more. Now, the one thing that I will say about these little stickers, they have little stickers that go in a line, so you can put them all in a line, but you want to fold up the sticky part up underneath so that you don't see it on the cup. I hope that makes sense. And then just glue it smack in the middle. This is one of the fastest, easiest crafts I have ever done, and I'm so excited. As I was putting these gems in, I started to realize, yep, this is exactly what I was hoping it would look like. Sometimes you think of things in your mind and you think, I wonder if this would work. I wonder how it would work. And then when you actually put it together and it works, oh boy, that is an exciting time. Now, one thing that I will say about this, these cups are just plastic. I guess they're bowls. They're plastic, and you don't want to scratch them, and they're kind of fragile. So you don't want to get any glue strings on them either, because getting those glue strings off will smudge them, and then they won't be, you'll have to clean them. So what I would suggest is while you're gluing in the glue, just make sure you don't have any hot glue strings anywhere. And if you do, take them off immediately. Get it off immediately. I usually, whenever I'm gluing something, I glue everything down, whatever strings there are, and then I take a hairdryer to it to melt the glue strings that look kind of like spider webs. Now, I figured out that if I put these 4 in a row for the bottom and the top, and then all up and down the sides, that was going to make them fit perfectly. But if I glued them 4 at a time, it was much easier than gluing 1 at a time all the way around the frame. And I could make sure that they were completely straight. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Let me turn the frame over. Now, I'm not gluing them on the back side, but I'm just gluing them together, just using the mirror frame for my template, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. Okay, so we're going to turn these upside down, and we're going to add just a little dollop of glue where they touch. Now, they don't touch completely on all the sides. There's just 2 spots on each bowl where they come together. So where they come together is where we're going to put a little dot of glue. And before it dries, as it's still wet, you can still maneuver the bowls around to make sure that they are completely straight. So what I did is put 2 dots of glue in between each pair of bowls. And then I take a straight edge of some sort, and I just took a stick that I had in order to make sure that they're completely straight because the bowls themselves have a curvature about them. So it's hard to see if they're completely straight without using a straight edge. And then it's not a bad idea to put something on top of them using that same stick to make sure that there's not any part where it's lifting a little bit, because you want it to be completely flat. And just, the glue is already starting to dry, so you just have to have it on there for just a second while you set up the next one. I'm going to get those completely straight. And then once you have a rhythm, this goes really fast. I mean, I can't believe, I think that the whole entire thing from start to finish took me about 20 minutes. And that was with me figuring out what I was doing along the way. So this is definitely one of those real fast, easy crafts to do, and very budget friendly, which is always a plus. I love being able to jazz things up, tweak them up using Dollar Tree supplies. That always makes me happy. Now I know this looks like I'm doing them in a row or in groupings, but I'm just using this area to get my bowls into groups of 4, and then I'll slide them out of the way and continue working on with the rest of the cups. I keep calling them cups, bowls, whatever you want to call it. You get the idea. Okay, see how easy this is? Then once they are all lined up and all glued, then we will glue them right onto the outer frame of the mirror. And that is all there is to this one. So this is just, it's got to be one of the best. I will say that at one point I ran short. I just needed 4 more of these bowls. I had misjudged how many I would need. And I ran to the dollar store to see if I could get 4 more bowls, and they were sold out. So I went to another dollar. I live in the Omaha area, and we have a lot of dollar stores, and I went from one to the next till I could find them. And that's the one thing about the dollar store. You can't complain. I mean, it's a good price, but sometimes they are sold out of what it is you want. So just be patient. And these types of, some things don't come around again, but these, I've seen these over the years. And they seem to be one of their mainstays. So if you can't find them at your Dollar Tree, be patient, and they will probably come around again. They also come in a grouping of, I think it's 3 of these bowls that are actually attached already, and you can buy them that way, but you would have to figure that out, how that's going to work since these are in 4s. Okay, so now that I've got them all glued together, I'm going to use the same Gorilla Glue, and I'm going to glue them right onto the frame of the mirror. And all I'm doing at the beginning is I'm just going to get them glued down lightly, because I just want them to be in place and make sure that they're level. And once they're completely leveled and in place and glued just with a little bit, I'll turn this over and I'll reinforce it with a lot more glue. So right now we just don't want glue sopping down onto the mirror, just really on the outer edge of the frame. So you're just going to be amazed when you see how fast and easy this is. So all I'm going to do is still, once again, the entire project is using this Gorilla Glue. And I'm fairly new to this. If you follow me, you know that I just did a trial to see which kind of glue works better, if the Gorilla Glue really makes that much of a difference compared to regular hot glue that I usually use. And I will say it does make a big difference. Now, you can reinforce it with some super glue or E6000 or something once you get it completely in place. And I, in fact, did go back and use some E6000 after it was completely glued down on the back side. But I love using hot glue to get it into place initially. Now, I did take some little craft sticks to keep it from tipping over to the left or to the right while the glue was setting up. And then once it was set up, it was just really held in place nicely. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hey, give this a share. Maybe you have a friend who'd like to see something like this. I do appreciate all the subscribers. I'm just so thrilled and excited with those of you that have been following me along my journey with all my do-it-yourself crafts and different projects that I do. I love doing home improvements and, well, basically everything. If I see something that I want, I study it out and I work on it and try to figure out how I can do it myself. Some of the things I create just out of thin air, and sometimes I find a certain thing that I really love, maybe on Pottery Barn or somewhere like that, and then I try to duplicate it, of course, on a very tight budget, because that is the way I roll. I love to be able to scrimp and save. And then once this is completely glued on, look at how fun it is. Now, as I was saying before, once it's completely all glued with my hot glue and it's all in place, then I go along and reinforce it. And I love this Gorilla Glue because it's nice and solid. Now, if you know that it might get some wear and tear, maybe you have little children around, you might want to use E6000 right here. But I don't have any kids that are going to be anywhere near this, so I'm going to go ahead and just use the Gorilla Glue, which also is pretty solid. And that is what the mirror looks like when it's finished. Isn't it fabulous? I love having floor-length mirrors in every single room in my house. And I just think that it is a way to jazz up any space, and to add this bling right in the center of each of these bowls on this mirror, I have to say, turned out fantastic. What do you think? You could actually hang it on the wall going the other direction, or just lean it up against the wall as a pier mirror. I feel like every single item in your house could be jazzed up with just the tiniest little tweaks. And that's exactly what we did today with our mirror. I'm excited for next week because I have a bunch of home decor items that just needed a little tweaking here and there, and they are now looking fantastic and fabulous. So I'll see you next week. See ya.